Good afternoon, everybody. I made it. 1 minute late, but I made it. So today is day 4, and after today, we only have 1 day left. I've really enjoyed the interaction that you guys have done and the comments that you've made, and I love how much you participated. And I just want to thank you so much for being part of this group. It's meant a lot to me. So today, Monday, we talked about our vision and how if we have a really good vision and a really good goal, then it makes it easier to focus on what we're doing because we have a goal in mind. And then day 2, we talked about the strategy and putting things into place that in order to be able to make the choices that you want to make. And we talked about shifting our mindset and changing things from a negative to a positive. And today, we're going to talk about Skillset. So, Skillset is kind of like the talents or the abilities that you have. And I was thinking of a resume, and when you put your skill sets on a resume, there's a number of things that I actually went online and looked up skill sets for resumes. And I came up with a bunch of neat skill sets. And so I'm going to tell you some of them, and then we're going to talk about those. So some of our skill sets we come by naturally. That's what we're good at, and we do it naturally. But other times there are skill sets that we actually have to work on. So back again, when you think about the resume, there's some things that you're not naturally good at, but if you train and if you learn and get the teaching that you need, then you can become very proficient at that skill set. And that's what coaching does. It helps you become proficient in the things that in the characters and the skill sets that you need in order to be able to put your plan into action and in order for it to last a lifetime. So let's talk about the different skill sets. One of them is problem solving. Some of us are really good at problem solving, some of us aren't. So what is problem solving, and how does that relate to our lifestyle, our diet, the way we eat? So I think overall, this is kind of what we've been doing this week. We're kind of looking at the different problems, and then we're looking at ways to solve it. So we're finding solutions for the problems that we have. Another one is strategic thinking. So if something's not working, then it's time to stop doing what's not working and then be strategic about what you want to do. Be strategic about what you want to accomplish and what your goal is. And time management. Now this is a big one. For me, I know time management can often be an issue as far as eating healthy because my husband works till 7 and then he's home by about 7:45. And I'm supposed to have dinner ready. Not supposed to. He doesn't require it. But I want to have dinner ready for him when he gets home from work. And sometimes I get working and I'm not really paying attention, and then he'll text me and say he's on his way home, and I realize I haven't even figured out what I'm going to make him for dinner. Or I may know what I'm going to make, but I think, okay, well, he's not going to be home for another 45 minutes, so I've got some time. And next thing you know, he's home and I haven't even started anything. So time management is a really important skill set to have when it comes to eating the way you want to eat and scheduling. So preparing for what meal you're going to have. So the night before, take a look at your schedule and go, okay, here's what's on my schedule for tomorrow. So if you've got a really busy day, then a difficult meal or one that takes a lot of prep might not be a good idea, but maybe doing something in your slow cooker would be a good idea, because then on your busy day, your dinner's already cooking. So another thing is this strategic planning, which we talked about strategic thinking. So we're going to do strategic planning. So have pre-ready snacks. So one of my clients actually, when she gets her groceries, she comes home, she chops up all the fruit that needs to be chopped up or the vegetables, and she gets out containers and baggies and she portions out all of her snacks for the week. Her cheese, she even puts pickles in a container, olives you could do, and they're all in different containers. So she has the whole bottom of her fridge is her containers of different snack foods, and then she has an area, a basket or something on the counter where she puts the non-perishable snack foods. Another thing is to do a few bags of like portion size bags of nuts to keep in the car. The cool thing is they don't freeze and they don't melt. So if you're out and about in the car and you start getting hungry, instead of stopping and grabbing McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever, you can reach for your glove box and grab the package of nuts, and that will tide you over till you get home. And it's a healthier choice than going and grabbing something from takeout. So what she does when she has all these snacks already prepared, then when she gets up and she's getting ready for work in the morning, she just goes to the fridge, she just chooses which snacks she wants and goes to the cupboard, chooses those ones, throws them in her lunch bag, and it doesn't require any thinking because it's just grab all the snacks and away you go. She even portions her cheese out. And then some critical thinking. So we talked a bit about this. Critical thinking is looking at how much what you're doing is impacting your goal. So we talked about that this week. If I'm going to reach for this food, how is that going to impact my goal? So that ties in very well with the mindset. Troubleshooting, we do a lot of that. We've been doing some of that this week, looking at, okay, here's the problem that I have. So let's troubleshoot. Let's see what we can do to fix that. And troubleshooting sometimes means you're going to try something, see if it works. It doesn't always work. So then you go, okay, now I know that didn't work. So let's go on to another idea and see if that works. But the key thing is when you're troubleshooting, you don't give up. So you try a few things until you find out what works. Do not give up. That's one of the things that I think so many people do. They say, oh, this doesn't work for me, so nothing's going to work. And they give up. And that's not what we want to do. Grocery shopping. I know this is an issue for me. There's a few people I know that getting groceries is an issue. I don't like going to the grocery store. I actually hate going to the grocery store, and I often, not so much anymore, but I used to get a lot of anxiety in the grocery store. And when it was heavier and my back hurt so much, doing groceries just killed my back. And about halfway through, I would be in so much pain, my legs would be shaking. And then the panic would start, because I would think, I still have half my groceries left to get, and I still have to go and wait in line and then pay for it and take it to the car and then go home and carry the groceries into the house. So the panic would set in. But there are a lot of places now that do grocery pickup. So in our area, we have Zehrs and Walmart. So I can go online and I can order my groceries. Walmart is free. Zehrs, I think, charges $3.95. I prefer to go to Walmart because their groceries are also cheaper than Zehrs. So I go online, I choose my grocery list, choose the foods that I need to pick up. And the cool thing about Walmart is you can also add non-grocery items. And then I drive to Walmart, I pull in the parking space, there's a number I call, and then they bring me out my groceries and they put them in my car. So that has been really, really helpful for me. Another thing I use is a company called True Local. I'm not sure if it's available in the US, but I'm sure that there's similar companies available. And I get a box delivered every 2 weeks. This box, it's all frozen meat, but it's local and mostly organic meats. And so you can pick and choose what you want. There's a smaller box and a larger box. And so I just pick and choose the meats that I want for the next couple of weeks and then place my order. A few days later, shows up at the door, and it's in a styrofoam container that's got all kinds of ice packs and stuff in, so it keeps it cold if you're not going to be home in the day. So that's really, really helped me. And it kind of helps with meal planning because I go on and I choose the meats that I want for the next 2 weeks. So now I know what meats I have in the freezer. So then when it comes to meal planning, I can say, okay, I have some pork, I have some beef, I have some chicken. So what are the meals that I'm going to make this week based on the meat that I have in the freezer? And that's helped a lot. Now here's another thing. Clutter. If you have things on your cupboard that are in the way, or if you haven't done your dishes, or you have clutter in the house, that causes clutter in your mind. And I'm not saying this out of judgment. I'm saying it because I know I've done this, and I still have times where my kitchen's a mess and I go out to the kitchen and I think, oh, I don't want to cook supper because I got to do dishes before I cook supper. So it's easier to just go and grab a pizza or get my husband to grab something on the way home, or go out for dinner, or whatever it is. So having a clean kitchen is really, really important for being able to cook and being able to prep your vegetables and fruit and stuff on the cupboard. If your cupboard's full, where are you going to prep? So a really good idea is to say to yourself, I like having a clean kitchen. Don't say I hate doing dishes. Say I like having a clean kitchen. And then make it a goal to have your dishes done every single night before bed. And I tell you, it's so nice getting up in the morning to a clean kitchen. When I wake up to a clean kitchen, I just seem to have so much more energy, and I'm more apt to cook and prepare for the day. Another thing is I saw there was a university study that was done about the food that people have on their cupboards. And people who have muffins and breads and pastries on their cupboards, they tended to weigh, I think it was 20 pounds more than someone who has fruits and vegetables on their cupboard. And then people who had pop on their cupboard actually weighed 26 pounds more. And then those who had the fruits and vegetables actually weighed about 15 pounds less than someone who didn't have anything on the cupboard. So having the healthy foods readily available, including the snacks, that makes a real big difference in what you're going to choose. Now for me, I don't have anything in the house that is going to make me fall off plan because I don't have the self-control when I'm tired to stay away from it. Some of you may not have that option. So at least if you're going to have those things in your house, put them in the cupboard where they're not as easily accessible. And you might find if you have the fruits and vegetables out on the cupboard more readily available, your family may reach for those more often than they reach for the muffins and the pastries. And if you have problems keeping your house clean or getting rid of the clutter, things like that, there is a really good website. And this woman, you can follow her on Instagram. I'm not sure if she's on Facebook. And she has a website, and she has a whole cleaning routine that just really breaks it down and makes it really, really simple. So her website is cleanmama.net. And you can follow her on Instagram, and it's just Clean Mama. And she has some really, really good tips in keeping your house clean and organized. And there was something else I was thinking about with the kitchen and the clutter. And I can't think of what it was, so hopefully it'll come back later. Stress management is another skill set. And we talked about the other day how if you're stressed out, your body's not going to digest the food properly. So looking at ways to eliminate stress in your life. Maybe that means taking those deep breaths when you feel yourself stressed out. Maybe that means delegating some chores. If you have kids at home, there's no reason why they can't help. There's no reason why mom needs to do everything. There are chores that your kids can do. And honestly, if you get your kids to help out around the house, it gives them a sense of purpose. It gives them a sense of belonging, because you're not saying, oh, go do your chores. No, you give them the expectation that you're part of this family. And so our family works together to keep our home clean. And once they're grown and they've left home, their future spouse is going to thank you for making them show responsibility as a kid. So get rid of some of those extra things that you don't need to do and delegate it. Okay, so let's say you get your kids to put the laundry away and it drives you crazy because they're not putting it away the way you want it done. You want the socks and the underwear folded just so, or the pants or whatever, and you want them put in the drawer and hung up. Who cares? Let them do it. You don't have to fix it. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's one of those things that you need to learn to let go of to relieve some of that stress. If you're constantly going around fixing things and wanting things done your way, that's going to cause a lot more stress for you than what it needs to cause. So learning to delegate and learning to let go of some things that really, in the big picture, don't really matter. Effort. Effort was one of the skill sets that I saw on the resume building. And I thought that was a really good one, because if we don't make the effort, we're not going to see the results. So no matter what program you use, no matter whether you go to Weight Watchers or a weight loss center, or you do something on your own, or you hire a coach, if you don't make the effort, it's not going to work. So that's a really important skill set to have it set in your mind that you're going to make the effort to do what needs to be done. Perseverance. Don't give up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take a couple steps backwards. It's okay. You don't have to give up. Don't resign yourself to the fact that it's never going to happen, because it will happen. Continue to persevere and push through and push through. And a year from now, you are going to be so thankful that that's what you did, that you pushed through, because you're going to look back and go, wow, if I had given up a year ago, where would I be now? But instead, I pushed through and I pushed through, and now look how much farther ahead I am. Common sense is another skill set. If you always do the same thing, you're always going to get the same results. That's common sense. We know that, and yet, how many times have we done the same thing over and over again and then been frustrated that we didn't see any changes? So use our common sense and realize when something's not working. Flexibility. We talked about that a bit when we were talking about allowing your kids and your family to help out around the house, even if it's not done the way you want. Be flexible. Don't be rigid. And hi, Julie. Don't be rigid and say, no, it's got to be done this way. It's okay. And another thing with the flexibility is to allow for spontaneity. So when you're doing some meal planning and you say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like, here's what we're going to do. that's great, but you want to make sure that you allow for things that may come up. And so that you have a couple of meals that you can kind of switch out, or you have, here's a really cool thing. When you're cooking, cook for, so let's say you're a family of 4, cook for 6. And then take those extra 2 meals and put them in containers, put them in the freezer. And then that way, if you have a night come up where you weren't expecting something to happen or whatever, then you have extra meals in your freezer and you can pull them out and throw them in the microwave. And there's a ready-made meal. Doing that is also good for lunches. Then you don't have to grab takeout for lunch. You've got these meals already in the freezer. So if you have a busy morning, you just go to the freezer and you grab this meal. Julie says, oh my gosh, I would even reload the dishwasher because they didn't do it right. I know, I've done the same thing because you could fit more dishes in if it's all done just right. But if we're going to teach our family how to be responsible and how to be part of the family and contribute to the family and take some of the pressure off ourselves, then we have to learn to overlook some of the things that they don't do the way we do. And it's a mindset shift. Just because it's not done our way doesn't mean it's the wrong way. And we're teaching them to be responsible young adults, or even a responsible husband. And you know what? My husband does the laundry. He washes, dries it, folds it, puts it away. He doesn't fold it the way I would fold it. He doesn't put it away the way I would put it away. And he often puts the wrong things in the wrong drawers. But you know what? It doesn't take me very long. If it really bothers me that much, I can reorganize it. But he is doing this for me. Like, he knows. He started doing it when I was really sick. And so he was doing this because he knew it was too much for me. And we had a washer and dryer downstairs at the time. So I've learned to say, you know what? He's doing this for me. I'm not going to go behind him and fix it all. I'm just going to appreciate that I have a husband who does laundry. And however he does it is the way he does it. Imagination. Now, here's a good one. So imagination, thanks. Imagination is another skill set. So maybe find new recipes. Go on Pinterest. Just go Google. If you've got chicken and you don't want the same old chicken, then go on Google and put chicken recipes. Go on Pinterest, chicken recipes. Save different recipes. I think it was, Julie, was it you yesterday or maybe it was Jill, talked about meal planning and maybe just putting different meals that they like to eat on a recipe card and then just choosing those recipe cards for the week. So you could even post them on your fridge. And so now you've got, and every time you do another meal or a new meal that you like, write the name of that meal on the list. Then you put your list on the fridge and now you know what you're eating all week and you can buy your groceries based on that. So use your imagination and find things that are going to work for you and for your family. Yeah, okay. I think it was Jill. Research. So that goes along with the imagination. If you don't know what to do, research it. There's YouTube videos. There's things on Pinterest. Google. Like, we have an entire library available to us day and night. So if you don't know how to do something, look it up. Use your imagination. Use your skill set of being able to research, of having the internet available for us. And then we talked about the teamwork, working as a family, and cooking with your family. So come mealtime, get your kids to do something simple. They sell, actually, I'm sure the dollar store has them. It's like a plastic knife, and it's meant for cutting lettuce so that it doesn't leave the lettuce brown. But they're not really sharp, so you could get your kids to cut up some of the vegetables, cucumbers, some of those things, or get them to stir some stuff, get them to set the table, but just work together. Or if you've cut up the vegetables and the fruits and you're getting stuff ready for the snacks, then have them put them into the containers and put them into the baggies so that they feel like they're part of the process. And it might take a little bit longer, but it's going to be more fun. Make it fun. Giggle and laugh and talk about things, and you're spending time together. So let me see. And another thing, when you're delegating, keep in mind that husbands don't always know what needs to be done. So with women, we have the ability to look around and go, yeah, all of this needs to be done. I see this, I see this, I see this. Our husbands don't necessarily see it. But most often, they're willing to help if we ask. But I find a lot of times as women, we say, oh, why doesn't he see that this needs to be done? Why can't he help me? And I've said that to my husband before, and he said, all you have to do is ask me. Like, I don't notice it. And that's a guy thing, and that's okay. But when I say, honey, can you help me with this? Could you do this for me? Oh, could you take this garbage out of the bag? Then he's very, very likely to help me. Unless he's in the middle of something important, then obviously you don't want to interrupt him when he's doing something important. So, but if he's available, ask him, because he doesn't know. And Julie, you're right. Your family is more likely to eat what you make when they've helped to make it. That's absolutely right. I like that. So buying your groceries regularly, keeping the clutter clear, keeping your kitchen clear, doing your dishes, paying attention to the foods that are readily available on the counter, scheduling your meals, making sure that you plan, right, they're not mind readers, making sure that you plan for the schedule that's coming the next day. So sit down the night before, this is what we're going to have, take the meat out of the freezer that needs to come out, make sure you have the ingredients you need, and even then that way in the morning, if you say, you know what, I'm not going to have time tonight, so I'm going to throw this all in the crock pot. You have time because it's not frozen. And then batch cooking. Cook for more than just the people that are in your house so that you have extra food. Or if you're cooking, let's say you're cooking chicken breast. Instead of just cooking the amount of chicken breast that you need for the meal or for the recipe, cook all of the chicken all at once. It doesn't take any longer, so cook it all at once. Now you've got some already cooked chicken to use for other recipes. Same goes for any of your other meats. And even your vegetables. If you cook extras, now you've got some leftovers. Here's some ideas to maybe help with meal planning. If you designate each day as a specific type of meal, so I thought of meatless Monday. So Mondays could be maybe a chili night. And Taco Tuesday, everybody's heard of Taco Tuesday. So if you're going to have Meatless Monday and Taco Tuesday, you can even reuse some of the beans or cook a whole bunch of beans. So now you've got beans for the tacos as well. Not everybody likes refried beans in their tacos, but you kind of get the idea. You could do Chicken Wednesday and beef or pork Thursday, leftover Friday. So Friday, it's been the whole week. You look in the fridge and you got all of these leftovers. So you go, okay, what can I make a casserole out of these leftovers? Can I just fry it all up? Like what can I do with these leftovers? You could do soup Saturday. And so whatever's left over, you could put, my mom used to do this. She'd take all the leftovers and we would eat some some leftovers Thursday night, and then whatever was leftover, she would make soup with on Friday. So you could make soup on Saturday and just have a nice big crock pot full of soup. And I find in our house, Saturday's a more lazy day anyway, where I don't really feel like cooking. So you've got a pot full of soup on. People can just go grab the soup as they want. You could also do, I do egg bites in muffin cups. So you mix up 12 eggs, add a little bit of milk, you put your ingredients in the bottom of the muffin cup that you want, pour the egg over top, put it in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes, and now you've got bite-sized egg bites, and you put them in the packages. So now you have breakfast as well, or you could do a big breakfast casserole. Julie says, years ago I used to teach a class called Once a Month Cooking to cut the grocery bill in half. It works and gives you so much time back. I love that, Julie. I'm wondering if you'd be willing to give us some tips on how to do that. That would be really cool. And then Sunday you could do a roast Sunday. So whether it's a roasted chicken, a roasted pork, a roasted beef, and then that gives you some extra meat to have throughout the week to throw in a salad or whatever for your lunches. Oh, good. I would love that. Whatever you see what you can come up with, maybe we'll do a live with you and you can help us with that. That'd be awesome. So use your imagination, use the skill sets that you've been given, and learn to build on other skill sets that maybe you're not really good at, but you can build on that. And you somebody's hollering at me, so I'm going to have to go shortly. But yeah, use your skill sets and build on those, and make new skill sets so that you can come up with inventive ways that's going to work for your lifestyle, so that you don't have any excuses to not follow through. So tomorrow is day 5. It's our final day. We'll be talking about energy. And remember that you're going to have your free discovery session, your free coaching session available. Plus, I'll do the draw on Monday for the extra 2 sessions. I didn't put a call to action in my notes, so let me think. Call to action. Okay, call to action. Tell me one thing that you do in your household that helps you be more organized. So whether it's something you do for a cleaning routine, or like Julie with the meal planning, cooking once a month, whatever it is, something that you can share with the other women that will help us with your way, your skill set that you use in your household to make things run more efficiently. Okay? And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.